What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project. This is our competition entry, Nissan Skyline, looking absolutely beautiful, based off of Eddie's Skyline. This is just the VM edition. Wide body kit galore on this beautiful, beautiful car, along with some other changes along the way. We got it from the bad auction house. It's in pretty poor condition, let's be honest, but we didn't get a good deal for it. Nonetheless, I bought it for 30,750 and could sell it for 25,565, losing out on 5,185. Before we begin, who knows, maybe we'll actually make it to the end of a tournament and get some good money from a drag tournament with this one today, especially with the V8 double overhead cam AXK TRS engine, which is the turbocharged engine with 874 factory horsepower on there today. We will obviously be putting performance parts on it, increasing that as much as we can, trying to make this epic Skyline absolutely insane on the drag strip. This is our project today. Don't forget to come and join us on Discord for the competition. We got something exciting coming next. I will let you know more about that in future videos, but come and join us on Discord. Links in the description below. Enter the competition. Sadly, you've only got until 10 p.m. at UK time this evening to enter, but you can still vote for who is your favorite car in there, so do come and join us. Let's get our beautiful Skyline started. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Here we are then in the car wash with our right-hand drive import. Let's just get the body all clean and see what's going on underneath all of that dirt, dust and grime. What sort of colour is it? Oh, it's the base colour for the Eddie Skyline. This sort of goldy browny colour. Not what we're going for today, definitely. But let's get the interior done. Get it back on the lift and get that beautiful V8 ripped out of there and get everything stripped down. I definitely did something wrong with the lifter arms there. They seem to be well off the car, but we need to check for the oil pan. It is there, so let's get all the oil drained out of that twin-turboed V8. Out you come. That's not the worst. I've definitely seen a lot worse, but it was still a pretty bad nonetheless. Let's jump in underneath. Now, this is four-wheel drive. We've got the main front drive axle going through the engine block there. Shush! We are just pretending it is what it is, which means we may still be able to get everything out without tearing it off. So let's just give it a go. Out with the drive shafts to start with. Out you come with your one rusty bolt there and two rusty bolts on the front section. So let's get all of this out. I've also done some clever little things with the exhaust. Obviously, this car was never meant to have a twin exit exhaust. It had an inline 6, I believe. And obviously, we've changed that now to a V8, which means we need two exhaust exits. So what I've done is I've clumpered them into the one there, merging into this middle muffler and then coming out the back with the single exhaust. Looking pretty good on there. Quite pleased with that. Out with the starter. Out with the gearbox, and I think we will need to grab some of this front exhaust section. So let's just grab these two pieces out here, and I'll grab the rest in a little while. Let's see if we can rip that engine out of there. Let's go and grab the engine crane. Over we go. Get you and see if we can rip this one out. That is incredibly high, isn't it? I don't know what I've done on that. I've messed it up majorly. But anyway, out with that beast of an engine. Let's see what else we've got going on this engine bay in here. So we've got a large intercooler at the front, accessible from underneath. We've got the radiator with the fan housing kit. Lovely little air filter just sat here. Then we've got the coolant reservoir, the wishy-washy reservoir, battery, brake servo, fuse box in the middle with the ABS module and the ECU tucked just behind it. Down the back is the fuel tank and fuel pump, and it kind of does look like everything's there. I'm quite impressed by this. If you know it's in really bad condition, everything does seem to be in. But we need to drain some liquids from here, 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 and I'm sure there was a power steering reservoir. Maybe there isn't. Maybe I imagined it. But yeah, at least these three. 1, 2, 3. Let's get them drained out. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool. Click and hold on the container, and it will drain it all out. We'll be back in a minute with all of the suspension stripped out, ready to work on the bodywork. That's everything on the Skyline, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on. But let's sort this bodywork out. Let's just get all of this off. Off with the fenders, off with the hood there. I don't even know what's parts on this. I really should do. Oh, I know this is a part. Off with that engine cover there. Let's go around the back. Rear bumper, you are on there. No windows in. Door over there. Window up there. And that looks like it might be everything. I just double-checked this interior. I can't remember. No, all the interior is missing. So that's a good sign. Have we got everything onto here? This screen, 1% on there. And nothing showing up on there. We have got everything. Now, the car I bought for, wrong screen, 30,750, and the frame is at 18%. I'm going to say 15. I'm going to try 15 again. 1,500. Nailed it. Absolutely perfect on that one. But just jump into the body shop very quickly and have a look. We have had a look at all the Skyline stuff before. There is a lot to play around with. You got the Nismo parts, the classic Nissan parts, some top secret parts, all very well labeled on here. So whichever body kit style you are going for, you will be able to find it very easily. Let's just keep looking through here. Obviously, some exhaust sections down the end there. We're on this one here. Electronic Arts black box. I believe it's either that one or this one. I can't really remember, but it is going back together exactly how it came apart. I'm very pleased with everything on this one, but there is so much to play around with. There's so much customization on this beautiful Nissan. That's why the competition with this one has been so good, because there's been so many different varieties and styles of the same car. Absolutely fantastic. Lots to play around with on there. Well done, Golly. But we need to get all of ours sorted now that frame's all ready and start getting it all back together before we head over to the paint shop to see what I've done for this one. Let's start getting our R34 GT-R all back together, and I'm going to start with the interior. We've obviously seen the rear bench, and the stock seats I've gone with in this one are the 370Z or the Nismo seats with the beautiful GT-R steering wheel on there. That's the interior. We'll obviously throwing a bit more colour in there later to get that all matching up. But let's get the rest of this bodywork together. I've got the Nismo hood on there. And there are a few little Nismo parts, but most of it is the Electronic Arts black box, which is that Eddie's Skyline wide body kit on there, looking fantastic. Left headlight is just the air intake headlight on there, which goes directly into that air intake on there. Right headlight is just got a little bit of red trim around it, looking pretty good. And then that Electronic Arts black box front bumper there. The door is a Nismo door, and then we've got the black box side skirts, absolutely massive on there, with just a little mirror number E on there, just for good measure, looking pretty good. In with the windows, in you go, in you go. Then we've got the rear fender, which is again the Electronic Arts black box. Rear window, in you go. The trunk is just a debadged trunk with no lettering on it at all. Rear bumper is that black box Electronic Arts one. With the tail lights, these funky ones in the H slot, looking pretty good as we go down there. Liking them. On you go, on you go. The spoiler is the Liberty Walk spoiler. In my opinion, the best looking spoiler for this car. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm loving that. And then the exhaust is the Electronic Arts black box, as I said. Right fender, in you go. Window, in you go. That Nismo door in there. And if we just pop the window in and the last mirror in there, just a couple of pieces to go. I'll just show you the Nismo doors. The Nismo doors have the red on the interior, matching in with the back and the rear bench there. So that's why we went with them. Looking fantastic. License plate on. We've just gone for our VM plates with R34 GT-R written on them. Pretty good. One at the front as well. In you go. And then if we just open this hood, the last piece should be that little strut bar engine cover there, just to finish it all off. Let's double check. We have got everything into there. 100%, 100%, 100% fantastic. Let's get this one over to the paint shop and let's get the livery I've done for it on, ready to show you guys how cool this looks. This is what we've gone for today on the beautiful GT-R, this chameleon blue. We've got this lovely tealy light blue on this side as it fans over into the dark blue over the top. Looking absolutely beautiful. I love this colour. Very pleased with how this turned out. We've also got the quadruple stripe going front to back there, going wider from the outside into the thinner ones in the middle, with a red and a white stripe in that thick one, going front to back on there. Looking beautiful. Nothing overly special, just something a little bit different. I always have to do something, and this is what I came up with on this one. Also in the interior, we got lots of red on them beautiful Nismo seats in there, plus a little bit of red on the steering wheel. It's just nip round to the other side. Mostly the buttons and the back piece, but it looks beautiful in there. And the frame we've gone for is the Nismo frame in there. You can get these, make it say GT-R, make it say nothing. We went with the Nismo ones, and this livery is sort of a little bit Nismo-ish, I guess, but that's what we've gone for. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm so incredibly pleased with this. As we open up that hood, we've got the base color of the normal body in the engine bay, which is exactly what I wanted. Not a chameleon effect in there, because we can't do a chameleon effect on the metal parts. It just doesn't work that well. So we're going to come up with some awesome colors for this. Maybe a bit of red, maybe a bit of white in there as well. Going to try and not use any black or very, very little black in this one today. We got plenty of colors to play around with. Hopefully we can make this one look awesome. The car's looking beautiful up in the air. Very pleased with how this one looks in its chameleon effect paint. Looking beautiful. We got plenty of colours to go on this one today. The shocks are in that chameleon blue on there. Well, just the lighter variant of it. Springs are in a lovely red with the caps in that blue on top of there. Looking pretty sweet. We got some blacks. We've got some whites all going on underneath it's going to be pretty epic. We're going to start with a large intercooler at the front because this is in the metallic version of that blue there, which still looks pretty cool. Then we got the front suspension crossmember in a lovely white. That's completely out of nowhere. The front drive shaft is in the blue. It goes through the engine block. We've got the steering rack in the blue and the sway bar end link also in the blue there, with the knuckle in a black. Inner tie rod also in a black, with the outer tie rod in that lovely matte blue color on there, looking great. The shock absorber on Yugo, I think that piece looks absolutely fantastic. Very pleased with it. A bit compressed, but it is what it is. Sway bar end link just in the black on there, then the lower suspension arm in that lovely blue. Plenty of good mixes of colors in here, looking pretty good so far. Let's carry on. Knuckle cover in the white, and then the wheel hub is in the metallic-y version of that blue. Looking pretty good on there. We get the bearing in, and the bearings just reminded me of the bushings, so we'll just quickly nip them in as well. In you go, and in you go there. Drive axle is in just the black on there, going through the middle, sort of keeps it all together. Then we've got the brake disc on brake pad, and the brake calipers today are in a matte red. A little bit darker than the springs. It's hard to see from this screen. It's a little bit darker than the springs, but that's just what happens painting the brake calipers. They don't accept paint as well as some of the other parts, but hopefully this is going to look pretty epic when we get it all together. So let's jump down the back and let's carry on. The rear suspension crossmember isn't in a white like the front. It is in that matte blue. On you go. And in you go with the two rubber bushings just there. We've got to get this knuckle on. That is in a black with a little rubber bushing just down here. We'll throw the sway bar on. That's in black at the back here, so it doesn't contrast against the cross member there. The rear suspension arms, these are all in a lovely little white. So let's just get all of them in. In you go with all your rubber bushings. And then the extra one just down here. There you go. All white across the middle. Looking pretty good on there. Then the suspension arm that comes out the side is in the matte blue, just to keep the mix in with the shock in the same color. Looking very, very good there. If we nip round to here, the sway bar end links in the metallic-y blue. And then we've got the spring cap in the matte blue with the red spring on the top and the matte blue on the cap. Looking very good on there. Wheel hub in the white, same as the front, along with that drive up the whatever you call this part, I've forgotten. The wheel hub, there it is. Rubber bushing in you go there. Nicely done, all bolted up. Then we get the brake disc on, and we got the wheel hub bearing in. A lovely little brake pad, and then the rear drive axle in a black, same as the front, just going through the middle there. Barely even visible. And then we've got the lovely matte red brake caliper on the back, and it looks a lot better in this light down here when you compare the two together. But you can see there is a little bit of difference between them. Nothing too special. Fuel tank we've done in a matte black, with the fuel pump in that lovely matte blue there. Looking very, very good. I had to crack on and get the other side all done. Then we'll move in and get everything for the engine bay done before we go and build that beautiful twin-turbo V8. Pleasant mix of colours for the suspension this time. A little bit of that sort of matte blue in there with a little bit of metallic blue as well. Splash of white, a little bit of black, and some matte red on there just to finish it off. We've also got a bit of matte red in the engine bay with that fuse box. Let's get the rest of the engine bay all in as well. See what other colours we've got in here. Coolant reservoir, wishy-washy reservoir, and the battery. In you go. Brake servo, in you go. If I could click on it. ECU type B, stage 3 in there, ready to go. The ABS pump is in the metallic-y blue with the module on top matching it. Looking very good on there. On you go. Spin around to the front. We got the air filter in the matte red with the air filter in it, and then the cover also in a matte red with some matte black clips going all the way around the outside of this one. Not too bad. Looking pretty good on there. Oh, if I could get that last clip. In you go. There we go. And then we got the radiator in that metallic blue, matching the intercooler with the fan housing kit in a black and the two fans in that chrome blue. It's very dark when you chrome it out, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Loving that. That's it for the minute. The rest of it's on the beautiful engine. So let's just take a look in here. You can see a few bits of the red just showing through. Nothing too special. Looking pretty good on there. And you can see the air filter or the air intake through our not used headlight, airflow headlight. I don't know what you want to call that, but it's all looking pretty good in there. Battery stashed up in the corner, looking pretty sweet. But let's go and build the beautiful twin turbo V8. There she is. The block and the oil pan are officially in the same blue. You can see it if you look on these pieces here. The block always comes out a little bit darker, but it looks fantastic. And nonetheless, we've got the fuel filter up here in a lovely little blue. Then the power steering pumps in the same blue with the alternator just a little bit more metallic-y on there. Not too bad at all. And the oil filter just down the bottom in the same blue, but it comes out green because it starts on a yellow base, I want to say, for that one. Engine heads, in you go. Now, these are officially white because I wanted the chrome effect around the outside without force chroming it. So we've got this sort of silvery, shiny effect on there, looking pretty good. On you go with the other side, and then we'll crack on and get all of these little innards bits in. If we just nip up here, we've got 2 camshafts on either side, 4 spark plugs on either side, and then on the end of each camshaft is a lovely little cam gear. So 4 cam gears, 4 camshafts, 8 spark plugs. I'll get them all done. I'll see you in a second. That's all the camshafts, cam gears, and spark plugs in. Let's move down and get the front of this engine all done. We've got a timing belt here, a timing belt here. If I could click on it, I don't know what's going on with my mouse today. There we go. And a lovely matte blue timing cover on the front there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Crankshaft pulleys in the black, along with all of these idle rollers. So I'm just going to get all of them in. That's almost all of the idle rollers in. There is one more left to go, but I just want to show you the water pump, which I've done in a matte red in the middle, just for a splash of something different. It is going to be hidden away under the black water pump pulley. You'll really barely even see it, but just for a splash of it in there for good measure. The 2 serpentine belts, both blacked out with the matte blue belt tensioner, and the last blacked out idle roller on there. Looking pretty good. Just that tiny little splash of red just for good measure at the front there. Intake manifolds not painted. I wanted to use the chrome effect. I was hoping it was going to be the same as this. It's not quite, but again, most of this is going to be hidden away by the time you come to it. It's only really here you'll see it. So let's crack on. The engine heads, these are in a matte red, and I think they look absolutely fantastic. Bit bizarre for this engine, but there is a bit of red in the engine bay. It should all make sense once we've got it all in, and hopefully looks pretty good when it's all together. Fingers crossed on that one. So let's just get this all bolted up, and then we can get the last few bits on this beautiful looking engine. We've got the ignition coils, obviously, in you go. Haven't done anything with them because they are going to be covered by the forced chrome coil covers. Now that does match in with that, and that's definitely what I was going for. The exhaust manifold is also forced chrome on there, looking pretty good. On we go. Let's get these fuel rails in. These are both in the matte blue. It's a lot lighter up here, so they seem a lot brighter. Looking pretty good, though. On to the other side. Let's get all of this in and caught up to the same place. We'll just do the exhaust manifold now, and then quickly do that coil cover. And then we've got a couple more pieces left to go on this beautiful little engine. First of all is the throttle up here, which is in that metallic-y blue sort of colour. And then we've got the 2 turbochargers, which are in the matte blue, and they look absolutely beautiful. Loving them. Looking fantastic on there. Let's get you all bolted up. And that should be everything for this beautiful twin-turbo V8. Absolutely love this one. My favourite engine in the game, if you hadn't noticed. I'm going to grab some pictures, and we'll get it dropped in our beautiful Skyline. It's time for the biggest moment of the whole build. Let's drop this engine in and see how good it looks inside our beautiful wide body Skyline. In you go. The moment of truth. Let's find out. Is this going to work? That looks pretty good on there. Very pleased with that. Liking the red. I thought the red might be a bit over the top, and I thought I was going to have to go back and re-record loads of this and change the red. But it's definitely not. I really like that. The red on top. The reason we kept some of the chromes on there is because of this chrome engine cover. I have tried painting it with the Quality of Life mod. The only bit that paints is that central piece in there, and I just kind of didn't like that. So we left some chrome on there. For example, the exhaust, the coil covers, and that intake manifold in there. Looking beautiful. Very, very pleased with that. But we've got a few more bits to go. So let's get up in the air. Got the gearbox. All of that beautiful exhaust ready to go in. Obviously, the exhaust pipe, or the actual muffler bit at the end, is part of the bodywork on this one. So it's looking pretty good on there. So we'll have to compare all of that in a moment. Gearbox, in you go. That is in the matte blue. It is a slightly different color to the block, but it does match in with everything else around it. We've got the starter. I've just done that one in a little white to carry on with the underside theme of the white there. And then the drive shaft is just in a black, going blue, black, blue. If we look down the end there, looking very good. Now all of this exhaust, let's get it all in. On you go. These are all performance parts, not painted. I've just left them in their normal chrome. Quite a few little bits in here, so let's just keep going around with this one. Onto the middle muffler, and then the last piece is officially the rear muffler, but it does go in to the fitted rear muffler. Now if we look under here, there's a tiny bit of clipping here. Nothing too bad, not too bad on there. and then we run all the way down the back, and then it goes into the pre-fitted part on the bodywork. That is all looking beautiful. I am very, very pleased with that. Back down on the ground you go, beautiful Skyline. Got to get the windows tinted, all of the liquids topped up, and some beautiful wheels onto this lovely Skyline, and I'll be done with it outside and in the sun. Well, here we are then, all finished with the beautiful R34 GT-R Nissan Skyline, looking absolutely beautiful in this chameleon matte blue paint with the teal on one side and the darker blue the further away from the light you go. Looking absolutely beautiful. Very, very pleased with this one. It is well and truly stunning. Also, that engine in there, a bit of red on the top and lots of chrome elements, and then some of that teal blue on there just for good measure. Looking beautiful. Very, very pleased with this one. Let's talk about these rims. I have gone back to the Rim 1A, one of my favorite deep dish rims on there. We used to use it quite a lot, and then I just stopped because I felt I was being too repetitive, but they fit this vehicle so well. The Rims 1A, they're a 19-inch rim at the front here with a 275 width and a 20 profile on there. We also got ET of 80 to bring it all the way out to the wideness of this frame. Pretty awesome on there. The backs are very similar, slight bit bigger. They're a 20-inch rim with a 295 width and a 25 profile on there. Again, ET of 80 to bring it out all the way. These are tucked under just a little bit more than these are, but well and truly looking beautiful. Let's jump inside this Skyline. I'm on the wrong side. It's an import. There we go, into the driver's seat. We've got plenty of red in this interior. You've got the red stitching on the center console, red stitching on the Nismo seats there, and some little red touches on the steering wheel. Looking beautiful. Well, let's get this twin-turbo V8 started, see what she sounds like in the Skyline. Beautiful, grumbly little tick over there, as we expected. But let's give it some gas and hear them turbos whistle. Very mean and grumbly at the top end, just as we like it with the V8, plus the turbo whistles on the top, just to really finish it off. But let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what the horsepower is, and what today's drag rating will be. Here we are then, on the dyno with the Nissan Skyline and its twin-turbo V8. This is the Virtual Mechanic edition of the R34. 874 factory horsepower from that V8. How much have we added today? And what's this one's drag rating? Let's take a look. A gain of 1,126 horsepower, 129% in total, leveling us up to a perfect 2,000 horsepower. That wasn't aimed for. That is what we call a happy accident. Bang on 2,000. That doesn't happen very often, but there we go. That's pretty epic. With a drag rating of A, 999, we should be at the top end of that, which means the drag tournament's going to be pretty hard today. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup we've gone for. Over we go. There she is, a nice and simple one. I actually reduced it down by a gear from 5 to 4 gears. The ratio is a 2.1 with 138 kilometers an hour in first gear and a recorded 517 in top gear. I don't think we'll quite get there, but let's see what we can get to. The ECU is fully tuned. Obviously no carburetors on this V8. Let's get over to the drag strip, see who we've got, and see if we can finally get back into winning a tournament. Back at Juneway Stripe Raceway with our beautiful Nissan Skyline GT-R. Let's see what we can do in a King of the Sands 1 mile A-class tournament. Pay the 1,000 entry fee. And who have we got today? Straight away, I can see there's a load of unicorns in there. Country Thangs in a unicorn as well, looking pretty good. Who else have we got down here? Buckshot in the Dodge Charger 777. Dead Bob also in the unicorn there, looking pretty good. And that's about everything. But there are quite a few unicorns. Dodge Charger 777s, the odd GT66, plus the electric Ferraris are in there as well. And the Ford Mustang drag up here. This could be quite hard. Are we even going to win our first race against the version 4 unicorn? Let's go find out. The beautiful version 4 unicorn on the start line, looking stunning as per usual against our beautiful Nissan Skyline. Wide body, definitely more of a street car, but let's see how we can do on the drag strip. Can we beat the unicorn? Let's go. Off the line, into second. This accelerates and changes gears incredibly fast. Into third. Bearing in mind, we only have 4 gears in this little beauty. Can't see the unicorn anywhere. Let's get up into top gear and see what we can cross the line at. What sort of times we'll get with this beautiful Skyline today. Looks like we are going to win our first race, which I am definitely happy about. And across the line, what times have we got today? Under 8 seconds. Absolutely incredible. A 7.909 to the quarter of a mile from our beautiful Skyline. Absolutely smashed that unicorn. Almost 10 seconds there. 21.231 to the 1 mile. That is a little bit on the slower side, but definitely beating that unicorn. Let's get into the next one, see who we're up against, and see if we can finally again win a tournament. Both Buckshot and Dead Bob are out. Bit of a shame there. We've lost two good competitors. Country Thang is still in the version 2 unicorn, but our next race is up against the Dodge Charger 777, and I know that thing's insane, so this should be quite a challenge. Well, that Dodge Charger 777 is a low-slung beast looking like a missile on there. We already know that one's incredibly quick. It is on our speederboard. Can we get on the speederboard with the Nissan Skyline Virtual Mechanic Edition? And can we beat this Dodge Charger 777? Let's get inside. Let's go. Off the line, into second. Come on, little Skyline. Into third. You can do this. I've got a feeling we may lose. We're in front at the moment. How long will it last? I know that Dodge Charger's got incredible top speed, so let's see if we can win. There it goes. I just heard it through my headphones. Sadly, we're going to be out in the second race. That is an absolute shame. But what sort of time are we going to get down? Cross the line. What have we got? A 7.912, and not quite as fast as our first run with the 7.909. 21.257 again to the 1 mile. Not quite as fast, but we lost. We're out to the Dodge Charger 777. We absolutely smashed it quarter of the mile. We just don't quite have the top speed. Look at that, 434 kilometers an hour top speed on that one. Ours is only 360. We'll do one more 1v1 after we've seen who's going to win this tournament. Well, as it turns out, no, we cannot win any more tournaments. I swear these are definitely getting harder, but never mind. We'll see who's going to win. We're rooting for Country Thang. Come on, you can do it. You can make it to the final, beating that Dodge Charger 777 in your version 2 unicorn. Let's go. Let's see what's going to happen. Country Thang is in the final. We got the version 2 versus the version 4. Come on, Country Thang, in the version 2. You can do this. You can. Congratulations, Country Thang, taking the win there with the version 2 unicorn. Very impressed by that. We sadly went out in the second round again. Starting to get a little bit annoying, if I'm being honest. No, I'm joking. Only 750 credits from this one. Obviously, that means we're down 250 before we've even worked anything out, which is a bit of a shame. But let's go and do a quick 1v1 just to get a third base time down for this beautiful Nissan Skyline. Here we are then, back at the main menu. Quick 1v1, 1 mile, 3 randomize, 1, 2, 3. We're against the electric Ferrari 250. That thing is incredible, so we might lose this one as well. But we need to get one more done just to see if we can slightly beat our first run time. Final race, a final boss, the Nissan Skyline, looking beautiful against the electric Ferrari 250. We always know that thing is insane. It has beaten us many, many times with some very high horsepower cars. Let's find out if this one's going to be any different. Let's get behind the wheel. Let's get going. Off the line. I really hope this Ferrari just doesn't start pulling away from us as I'm expecting it to do. It's not there yet, but I'm sure it will come. These Ferraris are incredibly quick. Let's just get into, there it comes, there it goes, off you go. Let's get into top gear, let's just get across the line and see what our times are. As we know, we apparently can't win races anymore. Across the line, what have we got today then? Let's have a look. Our final run, definitely our best run to the quarter of a mile, is 7.861. Absolutely impressed. Very glad we did that final run. 7.861, we'll have to find out in a moment where that sits on the speederboard. And a 21.199 seconds to the 1 mile. Again, our fastest run of the day with a matching top speed of 361 kilometers an hour. Sadly, we didn't really get any winnings. We're actually down 250 from our drag tournament. But let's get the beautiful Skyline back to the garage. We won't be selling this beautiful creation. We will be keeping it. But we've got to see if we could have made a profit from it before we check out what we're going to build on Friday's video, which is the 200th project on this channel. We may not have won the tournament, but we finally got something new into the top 10. I say something new, it sits just underneath the drag edition of the same car. But the Nissan Skyline R34 VM edition with the twin turbo V8 in there. 2,000 horsepower by the time we finished with it. Finished the quarter of a mile in 7.861 seconds. The 1 mile in 21.199 seconds. With a top speed of 361 kilometers an hour or 224 miles per hour. Number 7th on the speederboard. I'm definitely pleased with that. We finally got something onto the speederboard. It seems like it's just been a little while since we've managed to do that. Absolutely epic. But let's get outside. Let's go check it out one last time and see if we could have made a profit from this beautiful Skyline. Well, there it is, all finished. Our beautiful competition Skyline, looking absolutely stunning. And we managed to get it 7th on the speederboard. Definitely very impressed with that one. Looking absolutely beautiful. Let's jump into some facts and figures. I bought the car for $30,750. And if you stuck around for long enough at the beginning, you would have saw that I could have sold it at a loss of $5,185 as I try and maneuver through the center of the car there. A loss of $5,185. We since spent a further $81,245 modifying, upgrading, and painting this beautiful car as you see it here today. Looking pretty good. Putting our total spend $111,995. The real question is, can we make a profit from this beautiful little Skyline? Let's jump in, let's take a look and see how good we have done with this one today. Well, there she is, all finished, 138,727 kilometers, all 100% complete, and that engine ramped up from 874 to 2,000 horsepower from that twin turbo V8, a gain of 129%. Incredible. Although we're not going to sell this car, would we? Or will we be able to make a profit if we ever do sell it in the future? We spent $111,995 in total. And a sale price of $242,685 definitely leaves us with a little bit of profit there. $130,690. Take away our losses from the drag strip. We were down $250 in total. Leaves us with a profit of $130,440. Absolutely fantastic. I really do love this Skyline. We definitely aren't selling it. It's probably going to go and take the place of our little Corvette just there. Sorry, Bolt Reptilia R6, not Corvette, but there we go. Looking fantastic. Very pleased with this one. A link in the description below if you want to grab it and have a go yourself. A lot of fun. Obviously, this model isn't available. This is built by myself. But if you want one that looks like this, the Eddie's Skyline model is the one that this is based off. Ours is a little bit lower and a few other different changes, and Eddie's doesn't come with a beautiful V8. But there's still plenty of stuff for you there to play around with this awesome Nissan Skyline. What have we got up next? Well, as it's our 200th project, we're actually going to revisit Jumpy Game. We're going to revisit the car that got knocked off of the speederboards today. This did sit in a 10th spot, and it was just knocked off in today's episode by the beautiful Skyline. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this one here, and we're going to 3-star absolutely everything on it. Now, this is the base game, Hammerdown Strahl S Thor Edition, but I have made some little changes. I've adjusted the ride height is definitely a lot lower there than it was before. I haven't touched any of the engine metrics, so it's the same power as the base game one. I just wanted it to look a little bit meaner, so we just brought it down a little bit. That's all we've done, and we have named it the VM Thor, obviously. Hammerdown Strahl S Virtual Mechanic Thor Edition. Not too bad. We got it from the bad auction house, but it's not in terrible condition. Not as bad as the Skyline that we started with earlier today. The engine in it is the double overhead cam AXK SCRSM, which is the rear mounted version with the supercharger on top there. 1,014 of factory horsepower. We should be able to increase that by quite a lot with just the performance parts. But then we're going to 3-star absolutely everything inside the build. It's going to cost us a lot of scrap and a lot of things like that, but it should be a good nonetheless. I didn't quite get a good deal on it. I bought it for $150,446 and could sell it for $143,617, losing out on $6,829. Hopefully, maybe if we can win another tournament, we can claw that back in the tournament. It does feel like forever since I've won a tournament. I've been losing races left, right, and centre. Hopefully this will turn it around with our beautiful 3-star Hammerdown Strahl S Virtual Mechanic Thor Edition. But that's it for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, leaving a comment. Let me know what you think. We definitely want to see the subscribers. I did set a challenge of getting to 500 subscribers by the 19th of February. We're very close to that, and we're still 34 subscribers away, so I don't think we're going to get it, which is a shame. It does also mean you guys won't get to see the drag fire truck. Click that subscribe button, leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.